Hey, it's Rob CWV back for some more NASCAR this week. Big week last week, 2-1 on picks here on the videos. Moves us to a 12-5 number on the season. Been running these since the All-Star break with the guys at FTA, the college kids. Glad to be here every week helping you out, learning some NASCAR, hopefully making a few bucks here along the way. Last week, road course, Chicago. Got a bunch of rain as we talked about. It did not wreck the race. 2-1. Two winners off of Chase Elliott, one on a top five for plus money, one on a matchup over his teammate Kyle Larson. That worked out well as well. The loser, AJ Allmendinger, top 10 with a bunch of juice. Yuck. Didn't show up for the weekend, even with the rain package. Thought he would be better. Thought he would be more on point in Chicago. Gave you a couple bonus picks in the video that weren't official that worked. McDowell, top 10, plus 110. That one worked, and told you guys to be on the lookout for the road course specialists, some of the foreign drivers and stuff. Back of the course, top 10. Well, turns out one of those guys won it. Shane Van Gisbergen out of New Zealand, running a Trackhouse car. The spare 91 car goes out there and wins. Early in the week, he was 60-1, 50-1, 40-1. Showed well in practice. Showed even better in qualifying. It dropped to 10-1, 8-1 before race post time, and we bought some on the way in. Wish you would have bought more. Wish I'd have been a little stronger with it to you guys. But he was a winner, and hopefully you nibbled on top 10s, which were around plus 200, plus 250 when we gave them out here as well. So, bunch of winners, we think. Elliott, top 10 with a bunch of juice. That also worked. Only loser, Allmendinger. So, 12-5 on the season, which gets you into that 71, 72% area, where I hope you're making some money just like we are on NASCAR. This week, it's pretty clear what's going on. Atlanta, drafting track. It's like Daytona and Talladega now, sort of. Not as random, not as many bad cars get into the top 10. Hopefully not as much attrition. The first two new Atlanta races last year were a trash fire. 24 cautions combined, a million caution laps. The race in spring was more normal, just 5 or 6 cautions, I think. And a lot of, frankly, one groove, one track racing. Not a lot of passing in some stretches. So, Atlanta was more predictable. I know it's going to be hotter this weekend, possible rain as always in the south for Atlanta, so that could go wrong on you, but I think Atlanta is a little more predictable than Daytona and Talladega. The cream rises to the top. There's less randomness. Where you qualify compared to the pole maybe means a lot more than it does at Daytona and Talladega. So we'll get to some of that. The trucks go to Mid-Ohio as along with ARCA. They're there as well. That's where Indy cars were last week. So hopefully we'll have a couple truck plays for you as well. Try and make you some money on that one. Let's just walk through the Cup race real quick at Atlanta. With the drafting tracks, there's no expensive favorites. The most expensive car is around 11 or 1,200. And there's basically a group of guys that all kind of fall in that spot in the pack. Basically, your top 7 or 8 cars are all going to be between 1,100 and 1,500. So that's Blaney, that's Logano, that's Kyle Busch, that's Byron, that's Elliott. Elliott needs a win. This is one of the places where he's been really, really good. Logano won here the last time. Byron's been good here, but gotten terrible finishes. As has Christopher Bell, who's out there around 1,500 or so. But it's weird. There's not a ton of value, I think, down low. If you had to put a gun to my head, yeah, Blaney at 1,200, that's fine. I'm personally going to play some Blaney top 5. First pick there for you guys is Blaney top 10. And this seems easy. It's basically bad. If he finishes this race, he'll be in the top 10. Ryan Blaney, minus 112, I think, at Barstool. There's some minus 110, I think, overseas or someplace a little harder to find. But a nice, straight, vanilla, chalky pick here. He's the guy who's come home with great finishes in all 3 of the recent new Atlanta races. Ryan Blaney there at minus 112. Next group behind that, I think there's some value to Chastain. You can get Chastain as cheap as 1,800. He was really, really good here last year. I think he ended up with a 2nd place finish. Was good throughout the race. So he's priced out there along with Bell. Next group out there in the 2,500 area. Reddick's out there. Every week I want to play him because I know he's going to be fast, and every week he wrecks himself or has an attrition problem or is inconsistent as hell. But Reddick out at 25, I don't think it's terrible. Bubba's out around 25. And then all the guys from 3,000 back, it's usually where the value is of these drafting tracks. So I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you basically, if you're playing card of winners, card of outrights, again, not official, I'm playing something that looks like probably Blaney, some Chastain, either at 18 or at like There's some 575 out there for top 3. That's a great value. That's equivalent to 2,300. So some Blaney, some Chastain, and at that back tier from 3,000 on back, I like Haley at 5,000. I like Suarez at 3,500. There was some 4,000 out there earlier. There's Bowman out there at 4,000. I would nibble on those. Again, tiny lotto tickets, but I like the looks of those. Truex is out there. I don't think Truex is a winner here. I don't think Toyotas are a winner here. But Truex is the only guy to finish every lap, I believe, stay lead lap at the last 9 drafting track or plate track races since they went to the new car, the new Gen 7. So Truex to look as a guy who's going to get a finish. So maybe him against the other Toyotas, him in some matchups. The matchup we like is Truex versus another Toyota. Truex minus 110 over Gibbs. And that's available a few places at 110 or 115. Superbook, I think DraftKings. That's a pretty common one to find is Truex over Gibbs. Truex gets finishes here. Gibbs has not been outstanding at this track at all. He's going to run in the Xfinity, by the way, on Saturday. Maybe get some more work. He's 8-1 in the Xfinity race. I don't know. I don't see how you can't go Truex over Gibbs, or in this case, also another one's being offered same price. Not as good a deal, but almost as good as Bubba over Gibbs, Toyota over Toyota. So Truex over Gibbs, if you get that, I really like that. Not to make the card too big, but again, I like Blaney. I like Elliott, and seems top 5 value prices. Like if you're out there seeing, top 5s on some of these guys like 240, 250 for guys like Elliott, Blaney, Logano, I think you have to play those. I think there's going to be some value there somewhere. There's a lot to like in this Cup race, even pre-qualifying, pre-flop. We'll see what happens. See if anyone turns in a terrible one. But understand it's easy to come back at this track from penalties and other issues. Bell got to the front, almost won the thing last year after 2, if not 3, penalties or incidents. Pit road speeding, equipment toss, the whole deal. You can get around things here, and that's what Chastain and Bell showing the ability to pass a lot of cars here and get that done. Xfinity Saturday, they're here. We've got some track record for these guys. Austin Hill's won the last 2. He's like plus 350 in that race. That feels too expensive. I really like Austin Hill. I like Creed and similar equipment, but he can't seem to get a finish either. What I would do is I would play John Hunter Nemechek, top 5, plus 170 at Caesars. That's basically equivalent to like a 1,200. What I would do with that is I'd play him from top 5, then I would nibble tiny on Nemechek and Barry to win out around 1,400. Those are out there available to you. So Nemechek top 5. Love his consistency. Love the way he's trying to be on the way to win this series. Get the points finishes he needs. So he and Hill, the guys to watch. Nemechek top 5. Finally, Trucks Mid-Ohio. Actually, I got a couple things. Really like some things in Mid-Ohio. Corey Heim's been good here. He's had runs before ARCA. Trucks. He's plus money to be a top 5. He's basically 600 to win. 110 for a top 5 at Caesar. There's some 120 out there overseas on Corey Heim. Mid-Ohio top 5. Corey Heim top 5 plus money. One matchup from there, Christian Eckes, who's one of the best drivers on the tour this year, minus 110 over Tyler Ankrum. I know Ankrum's good at this track, but he's basically bad everywhere else, seemingly for the last 3 seasons. So I'm going to Eckes matchup over Ankrum minus 110. You can find that a lot of places. And your lotto ticket, again, not an official play to win. Eckes 16-1, Eckes 1,600 to win this truck race. He's so good. I like him. I don't understand why he's gotten the breaks he's got in his career. He's the Eric Jones of trucks. He's really good. Let him drive. Let the guy cook. Let me cook. I'm Rob CWV. For everyone here, the college kids, the FTA gang. Let's have another good week in NASCAR. 12-5, baby.